are you talking about? This is brand new. We just started now.
That's right. It's rare that I get offended.
Oh, I was kind of hoping I offended you.
Yeah, I think here, fuck you, here and there, maybe, but really, I mean, I might get mad at something that someone does, but in fact, I often do get mad at what people do. But
you do? No.
I don't get offended by it.
No.
Anyway, yeah, and I didn't think that was a negative thing you said at all.
You know what? You know what offends me is
what? Your face.
Yeah, your face. No. Face? No. What really offends me is computers and all the extra clicks you got to make on like every single thing. Every single thing you do. Like they upgrade the OS. More clicks.
More clicks.
This default on the new OS. Like you just click on nothing and everything disappears and you're like, why did it do that? And then you have to go and learn how to turn whatever that stupid thing that somebody programmed for no reason that nobody asked for.
You know why? Because they're trying, basically, in the meeting, right? The meeting for, hey, so we're going to do this, we're going to roll out this new OS. People are going to be like, all right, what's it going to include? And they're like, a lot more clicks. Oh, they approve it immediately. Oh, how many more clicks? 30%? Can we hide some menus that formerly were really easy to find? Oh, yeah. Let's do that one. Let's remind them that they need us. And then all the YouTubers, those motherfuckers, get to be like, oh, I'm going to figure out how to do it, and I'm going to make a video to do this very easy process. I'm not going to, just tell you how to do it. No.
Nope.
You got to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
Share, like, subscribe.
You guys might share, like, and subscribe. This is DreadLore After Hours.
/DreadLore. Or go to the website, dreadlord.com.
Where
hit the Patreon.
Eat in front of you.
It is. Mukbanging are us, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sorry about it.
I feel like maybe there's a fetish to watch people eat, like that you are kind of guiding us into, and the viral. And the more you eat, the more we connect with that group of people that loves to watch people eat. Random dudes eat food.
Well, Fire Part Creature followed us 6 minutes ago. Thank you very much, Fire Part. We appreciate you.
Nice. They've been following us. They followed us, I'm guessing, because of the music and the After Hours logo, which is super cool. The music is written by all lowercase letters and misterinterrupt. And I think the song that we were listening to at that moment, just in case, and I don't know what the song's name is. Oh, it's called Hate. So there we are.
I love this song.
It's 35 minutes long and 22 seconds. And so it's about, what, a sixth of our podcast.
Yeah.
Gotta pick those long songs. If you're going to make a 7-hour podcast, you better have a couple of 35-minute long songs in your back pocket.
At least 2 or 3. Speaking of,
2 or 3.
If people like this music, can they use it other places?
I don't think so, because there's no way for them to get it.
Oh,
but,
right.
Oh, yeah. No, not this song. But if you want to find Mr. Interrupt or all lowercase letters, they're available on all the different podcast platforms. So just look them up. And you can use the music for all lowercase letters on your YouTube videos if you want. It's not. It pops up as copyright restrictive, but So anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, so saith
I don't
All
think
these
that you'll
letters.
get a content strike for using any of
No.
that. And if you really want to use some all lowercase letters music, you can very much contact all lowercase letters and ask them, and I'm sure they would be happy to
Are you pretty sure?
make. I'm sure they would be relatively happy to give you some
You got a
music
pretty
for your.
good line on that guy, I think.
Yeah, whoever that guy is. I mean, they're very mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
Very mysterious.
Yep.
I wouldn't know the first thing about music.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I know there's a piano right there, but that
Don't
doesn't.
worry about the
That
piano.
just pay no attention to
It's
the
not
piano
mine.
right.
That's not my piano.
I'm borrowing it from a friend. What did you think about tonight's episode? Were you surprised?
Mm.
I wasn't
Was.
really because
No, because you knew what you were gonna do.
because if you look at this character sheet under minor goal,
Was it
it
kill Dustin?
says no. It says wake up, not dead.
You got a minor goal.
Yeah, I was expecting to be dead. The way the last and I really do. Does that mean I get a breath back?
Mm-hmm.
And do I
You
get
get
a
a breath
pip
and
or
a cunning back.
I get a breath and a cunning back?
Yep.
I don't. Oh, good. I used both of those things.
Yep.
Any
You get a breath.
experience?
You get a breath of
Any
cunning. You
advancement?
get 1 experience,
Oh,
and you get 1 pip.
nice. Well, that means I just got another advancement,
Fuck yeah.
which I should put into something. Probably authoritarian presence because they use that a lot.
Mm. No,
No, so let's go back. Any highlights? Any low points that you had in this?
No, I think let me see. We're at I think 5 group advancement or goals. No, I thought it went well. That kind of session can go. That's the kind of session that can kill games and can start fights really fast.
Oh.
You got to have you have to have a lot of trust in the players. The players have got to trust the arbiters. Players have to trust each other. There's so much respect that has to go down because, like shit happens and it's so decisive. But it's not just that it's decisive and changes the story. It's like if you feel like you got robbed. Like, I mean, I've been in games, specifically one, where about every 3 sessions, there was straight up a blow up. Like, and it would start in game. And then by the end of the game, like, people are like, it's a bunch of dudes, so we're all trying to keep it cool, act like we don't have any emotions. And someone says something snarky and it goes nuts. One of the coolest games that I was in, exploded because of something very similar. And I don't mean like similar to what your character did. I mean something just basically the player characters decided to do their various things, and one of the players got fucking, like, I could say this diplomatically, but honestly, I
Yeah.
don't know what the deal was. Like, this person
Lost their
just
shit. Got hurt.
They were trying to be diplomatic. I'll give them that. They were trying.
People
They were
get
trying
hurt.
their best. And I think that it had gotten to a point because this had been going on for a while, and it was player versus player type shit. And they they were not jiving with what was going on in the story, with the other characters. And this is the kind of player that doesn't, if you make a decision with your character, even if it doesn't have to do with them, like if it's just, if Dolby's like, I don't want this finger, and cuts your finger off, whatever it is the kind of player that like really takes offense to it, doesn't let it go. And there was another player, and they just, I mean, it was like the fucking Demigorgon.
Yeah.
And we had an awesome session.
One of the things I loved about this session is we straight up fuck killed Carthonin, and Andrea was super cool about
Totally
it.
cool.
I mean, and
Totally
and
cool.
and we just moved on. And
Mhm.
and I think if you killed Dolby in a fight, like I would not be angry. I mean, I feel like he's kind of wants death. And like his curse is to continue to live. And I'm sure that that won't be the case at some point. I mean, it
You
could be
never
the
know.
next episode. You never know. The PvP stuff is definitely emotional. But when we did, when Dolby flat out murdered this person that he didn't have all the information, and you set that up. You set that up.
Oh yeah. Well, it was a trap. It was
Yeah.
absolutely a trap.
And
Which,
there
you know,
was no other, there was
either
no
way,
way out. Like, and I
either way.
love that you gave Dolby a chance to like say this is what's going on in his head to his subordinate that was obviously hurt.
Yep.
And there was no choice.
It was
Like,
great because
there was,
you were able to do something that honestly was rather zany. And I mean, it was, that's an episode. That's a fucking it's like that scene in Inglorious Bastards. You know what I'm talking about? Where
yeah.
the main Nazi dude just leaps at the actress and strangles her to death. Like that scene is so brutal. And you're
Dolby
just
is a
sitting there
Nazi, or not a Nazi, but a fascist.
like you're just
Go ahead.
sitting there thinking, holy shit. And it was a very similar, the only issue that I had with it, I had two issues. First, I didn't know, because we haven't been tested, this group. I didn't know how the group would deal with it. So I'm glad that it was dealt with the way it was.
Sure.
The second thing, because it happened at the very beginning of the game, it delayed Andrea's entrance, because literally that scene or that montage was to quickly introduce Andrea. And instead, an hour and a half later, and I felt bad that I had Andrea just sitting there. But it just, like, the moment that started going down, and you know, like I wanna play by the rules. And it's like, okay, well, she's got 10 vitality. I had stated she's surprised, and even if she has a BODF of 4, you roll a 6 successes, and you're attacking the head, and you're getting the damage, and you dealt 10 damage. Like, I was like, I mean, it's a laser sword to the neck. Like, you know, and you dropped a ton of resources, you dropped a ton of all these things. Like, there's no way to come back from that. Like,
yeah,
the player has chosen to kill that character, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Dolby has fought AI in the past.
Yeah.
On ad break. So that didn't get heard by the Twitch stream, which is fine. And I guess this is a Sec 4 clearance at this point because because it's not being heard by the Twitch, and it'll only be heard on the podcast. But Dolby got murdered some AI in the past, and they have taken multiple hits from the laser sword, and they are not to be fucked with, you know. So he was going to do everything because he knew that they were, if it was an AI, they would hit back. and he might die.
Mm-hmm.
So it had to be 100%. And he couldn't second guess.
Nope.
He was surprised to be alive. The only thing that was going on in his mind is that Alfred gave him some information that
I'm surprised you thought it was an AI.
totally.
I think that was the thing that got me, like, that surprised me. I wasn't surprised that you would have Dolby attack her.
Well, it could have been an enemy of some kind. You know, there was too much surrounding.
But I was surprised by it.
When we had this conversation the last time, like, Dolby took her off the ship to get her away from suspected. So I mean, she might have been, you know, in Dolby's mind, he didn't trust her, and she's given her no space to be trusted. And Alice Brick reinforced that.
This is true.
And so, however, that whisper of Alice Brick, you know, because she had that lack of trust.
I'm gonna call you out a little bit here. This is
pushing it over the edge. But please, no, for sure.
You're kind of talking out of your ass. That's not true. So the situation actually was at the end of last game, Dolby absolutely was a murderous motherfucker trying to kill her. And then you came in this session saying, no, the summary's wrong, and you were lying. That's not at all it. Absolutely, you were trying to kill her from the very fucking get-go. You did give it a roll, but it's breath, and it's a yes, but by no means was Dolby forced into that decision.
No, he was not.
You as a player made that decision, which is fine. It's fine to do, but it is absolutely bullshit to say that you were pushed into it.
No, it's true. It's true. He made a gut reaction, which is now a flaw.
Yeah, which is great. But I'm saying you are forced into it. The second,
and he regrets every little bit of that, by the way. Like he cuts her in half, and then he's like, "I made the wrong fucking call." You know, I've got things that are going on in his head that I have to wait to next episode to like go to say anything about.
Well, I think you foreshadowed quite a bit, in a really good way, and that's the thing that I enjoyed about it. It definitely derailed things, but really, it just derailed things. And I think this is something that storytellers, including myself, typically struggle with, is when you have an idea for the pacing of an episode or a session, or you have things planned or whatever, like being flexible enough to realize that just because where you think it's going to go doesn't go that place, it's not a bad thing. I've seen it go bad. I've seen it go really bad, and the end of games happen because of something. You know, I mean, there was this Ravenloft game, which Ravenloft is a horror setting in D&D, which the old school is really good. The new one's just okay in my opinion. But there's this one game that one of my buddies ran, and big mystery thing. And yeah, this one of the players just murked the bad guy. The thing is that in game, so it's a different situation, but in game, the characters did not know it was the bad guy. Out of game, they figured it out. They were like, "Oh, that's the bad guy," and this player just, you know, everything was going, everyone was playing along, and there was this one moment where they like, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. They pulled a move. Where they're like, "Oh, I go inside," and they knew that they were alone with the person, and they just murked them. And it's one of those things where like the DM could have done several things to mitigate it, but the DM let it ride and was like, okay, you murk it. That character's gone. That's it. And it pissed the rest of the players off so much. Literally, that game, it lasted like a year or two. Ended. Like, that round. Like, people like got up from the board and were like, we're done. And left. And so I've seen it happen, right?
Yeah. But
And
the fortunate thing
yeah.
for this game is that we weren't invested in this character. It wasn't allowed to fester. And
well, and you guys aren't the same kind of players either.
Yeah.
Like,
and certainly I really do my best to not metagame or be like, if I knew the bad guy, I wouldn't say it on, like, I'm not gonna give a spoiler. Like, Luke Skywalker is not the son of Anakin Skywalker,
right.
you know.
Until you
Sorry,
know it.
guys. until that moment happens, and to the point of, I think there's a lot of stuff that happens in game that we run across, and I'm wondering, you know, does my character know that? Did they say that? Because there's a lot of stuff that you kind of presume they're going to have a conversation about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that you kind of presume they aren't, and it's like, where do you draw that line? What is the relationship between those people? Because it could just be a couple of words of that, you know, that went on. Dolby was not in a position to have a conversation with anyone.
No,
there was
it made
nobody
sense in the fiction. I just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, there was nobody. Like, there was a moment where I myself thought, maybe I'm not going to do this, and then it was like, no, I have to, and it's for exactly why Dolby said to Brick, you cannot suspect.
Well, that's the thing. That's the best part, in my opinion. That it wasn't just a, hey, I kill her because it makes sense in the moment, and then I'm back to my normal guy. No, it was not characteristic of Dolby to do in this game, but only because we've had, at this point, 3+ sessions of build-up, of really no combat, really just tensions rising, paranoia. Sure. There's the whole Dolby telling Brick, who's really paranoid about Dustone, hey, look, we're all a team, blah, blah, blah. Him talking to Dustone, very insidiously, mind you, acting cool, being nice, getting her on board, gaining the trust, and fucking murking her. And what's so great is then you see that switch of, you know, Alice Brick, him talking to her, and Dolby actually dealing with it, and you see, like, what's behind the mask a little bit. That's cool shit. That's cool. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, it's shitty. Yeah. I mean, everything is shitty about it. Like, it's just another notch on his belt of, like, he doesn't think, like, it's his fault. Like, I know it's Dolby's fault. He didn't do all, like, I know that. But, like, playing the character and being the character are two different things. Like, Ken knows that, you know, there wasn't enough evidence. If it was Nord, he wouldn't have killed her. He wouldn't have touched her. But Dolby was
he's a lieutenant in the Space Marine, man.
So many times, and to be, you know, to have just doubt after doubt after doubt, and it's that doubt that was murdering his, like, it was keeping him awake. It was driving him crazy. He was dreaming of people who died because he made the wrong call in cryosleep.
Yep.
You know, he knows that one RI, one enemy combatant on his ship puts the whole mission at jeopardy, and potentially puts an entire world of allies in jeopardy.
Yep. It's huge.
So
It's absolutely huge, and I love it. And we get around to this idea that Alice attacks Dolby because she thinks he's murdering the crew. Which, that's I'm playing the character. It's a decision that I make.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's too hot. What the goal there is as the arbiter is you got a choice where to put the tension. And
but Dolby would have probably, because he trusted Alice Brick, he probably would have let her kill him. Like if it came down to that, like that was in my mind in that moment. It was like we're getting ready to go.
When they be lost, like the interesting thing is it's an interesting yes and like you have to keep going with the story. And again, that's something that destroys games when players are like, yeah, that's it, and I blow myself up. And it's like, okay, well, that's it. And if you happen to blow up the ship too, well, and that's not what was going on in this game.
Yeah, well, like, they did talk him down. He was like, he was upset, and he was clearly unraveled. Alfred was letting the air out of the ship, and he was about to just say fuck it.
Yep.
And didn't know a way out, and it took him a minute to like come back.
So coming back to the arbiting or being an arbiter, finding the tension in the situation and knowing where it goes. So there's where my mentality was to get to the plot point of introducing Andrea's character, and then the actual plot that I had planned for the session, which none of that happened.
No.
Something else happened. No, it really didn't. Like this entire session did not happen. What I wrote completely exploded when you chopped her head off. But it wasn't a bad thing at all. It was an opportunity because the only issue that I had, and I was checking the video for Holker and Andrea to see if they were looking real bored. That's why I kept on giving them rolls and maybe ad nauseum fate rolls to get them involved, because we're talking like an hour and a half of
absolutely.
Really it's the Dolby show. And I was like, well, we can't do that. It's got to be everybody. So there's a reason why we had to grease the wheels with mechanics, because the moment that it made sense for your character to do what he did, that's where the tension is. That's the focus. It's got to be. So I was like, okay. And I could have popped over to Andrea, but it's a lackluster scene because you know what really matters, right? You want to see the Mountain fight Brienne of Tarth, okay? Stop flipping back to fucking wherever.
And Burgess like just walked out of the room. He was like,
"Oh my god, it's so good."
He's like, "I'm out." Like I don't even see this. I don't even see this.
So Alice comes out, and I have this decision. I'm like, okay, so she can see it. I'm bringing her there. It gives you another tool to play with. What do you do? And I'm like, you know what? This is a tension scene. This makes that decision huge.
It does.
Because Dolby just tried. Well Dolby just threw down. We got to give this actual credit. There got to be actual stakes.
Yeah.
And it goes. And the fact is it like I also know, the antagonists. Like when it comes to player characters, you guys have so much agency. If you want, you can do a lot. At the very least, you could spend breath. I mean, literally, if you got shot to shit, you could spend breath to survive. Like, you have so much agency. And I love the back and forth. Because she shoots at you, you duck, it's gory, Burgess pieces. You go after Alfred because he's like just poking the fucking bear. She yells at you, and that could have been a whole scene. You stop, and now you have this amazing, like, emotional conundrum between Dolby and his crew. And that was the session. And then you guys still have to rescue this girl and
like just the shittiest of move. Everybody was like way down. You know, the whole crew and Burgess too.
I loved it. I thought it was a great session.
It
Like
was,
that's the kind of session I want with the Red Writ, where
yeah.
I'm not saying Nord should do crazy shit, but
No,
where you have
Nord is
space.
that is not Nord's. Like it's been a while. I had some stuff planned, but really it's been such a long time that, you know, walking back into the scene and finding where we were is it's been a month at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, getting that feeling back for those characters, it seems like it might be a difficult thing. I've got good notes, and
We'll get there.
I think everybody else has good notes as well. So pulling us back in, I had some ideas for where to go with that today, but sometimes you just get thrown
Sometimes.
a
Well, that's okay.
little curveball.
We'll get back into it. The Red Writ, it's such an atmospheric game. This next session, assuming it all goes well and we actually play, because you know if shit's going down, for Drizzle, I don't know what will happen there. But we will eventually get to the Red Writ,
Oh,
regardless.
absolutely. I think all of the players in the Red Writ need to be there, and if you can't be there, like, you know, if I can't make it or you can't make it, you know, we just you know, the characters in the Red Writ, and that's why we have Into Space. It's so like if somebody
exactly.
can't make it, we have another. The last episode in Event to Space was really dramatic as well. I mean, I think we've done 2 like really heavy episodes of what's supposed to be like a space drama, which is shoot 'em up, and like we've just gone to a weird heavy
So
space.
let me break it to you what was supposed to happen tonight. What was supposed to happen is you guys were going to find this spaceship, the cataphract that Andrea's character's on, having been attacked, but they would have defended themselves a little bit, and essentially in the middle of you rescuing them, the pirates were going to come back. So it was going to be a shoot 'em up session to actually give you some real combat and whatnot. That's actually what the plan was. And we almost got there, Dolby. And I was like, okay, we go in the montage. I bid this and I activate this and I pull out my laser sword. And I was like, oh no.
Well, you had to half expect that though. I mean,
well, I had expected it until you told me you literally weren't going to do it at the beginning of the game. When I said I did the summary, and you're like, "Oh, he's not gonna murder him." I don't know why. I pull out my fucking laser sword and chop her head off. You fucking liar.
Well, half. I mean, it was all based on what. That's why gut reaction is a flaw. You know.
Well, you went to limbo. Is the thing. You went to limbo.
The gut reaction. But that, I mean, it's probably appropriate. I mean, I rolled like shit today. Like, I have not
when it was saving your ass. When it was saving your ass, you
no proficiencies left. 0 proficiencies left. Like, I mean, it's
cool. That said, I will say, I will call you out a little bit on bullshit again.
Do it.
Because the entire reason that Dusttone was at your mercy is because you dropped proficiencies to make the fate roll re-roll. Originally, Dusttone was going to be in armor and be able to defend herself if need be. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think you're gonna drop that on me. Like, oh no, it was your fault. No, you were
I know. Well, we had that. I'm not saying that it's not your fault. It's what Dolby would have moved the universe to do. Like
Oh, sure.
if he's suspected for a second, like I feel like I played that character the way he would have played it, not the way that I would act. So
Yeah, I
he
think so.
doesn't need all the information. He needs to think he has all the information because he lives in a fascist society where information changes.
Well, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
if he thinks that he's got most of the information, and
That's
his report on this is basically is pretty amazing. That I kind of wrote while I was sitting, and it's like, you know, saying that Duststone was a hero and that she had gone out of her way to save Private Burgess and Private Brick when there was a mishap in transferring the passenger over, and that she should be buried with honors
oh my god,
during
that's
the
awesome.
SOS rescue mission of
Oh, you're in such trouble.
Katrina.
So good, so good. It's awesome. I love it. Um,
And I said
so
most of that during an ad break. So like
oh, it's fine.
again,
And so the idea of it's Sec 4 clearance, baby.
no, it's true. And it's one of those things that I think I would have to spend a pip and get Sec 4 clearance in order to make that lie a truth.
I mean, you could ask Alfred to do it. Alfred told Dolby the truth.
Yeah.
In fact, Alfred does. He by and large tells the truth. He just prevaricates a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm starting to hear Alfred better after this. I think Alfred
He actually
understands
leveled with you.
Dolby better.
Yeah.
And like I think Dolby would probably let him have his
No,
walkabout.
Dolby's gonna shut up. Dolby's gonna murder the shit out of Alfred the moment he gets Ken. I'm not stupid. I'm not fucking stupid.
Dolby knows. No,
I'm fine.
seriously, no, listen to me. Dolby knows that without Alfred, the mission is fucked. There's no way to win without Alfred.
But obviously Alfred isn't going to kill you not because you're player characters. Like there is a reason he's not killing you.
Sure.
But this is the thing that I was attempting to get across, and that I think that we can safely say at this point, because we can go around in circles in the paranoia, and that's real fun. But there is an idea here, and the idea is this: Alfred, whether or not he's an AI, that's up in the air. But when he told Dolby why he did what he did, while he may be talking out of his robotic ass, I think that's a question. Can you trust him or not, right? To tell you the truth. He told Dolby for a very specific reason. And in private.
And it made sense. And like that was the first time that Dolby and Alfred had a communication where Dolby actually believed Alfred.
Right. And because the idea is that Dolby and Alfred, in a weird turn, are kind of doing the same thing. As in, you have information, and you actually don't know who to trust.
It's true. And Alfred probably doesn't understand that.
No, he's a fucking robot. The thing. I'm basing Alfred a lot off of a Halo character called Black Box. Now Black Box is a suave AI in Halo, but the idea behind Black Box is he has a mission. He is a protagonist, an ally to the protagonists, but there's a twist to it, and that's really the idea. Like Alfred is not Howl 5000. He's not actually against the players. He needs the players.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Dolby realized that until this episode. I think that needed to happen.
And what he
whatever
said,
happened needed to happen for Dolby to,
well,
because
I was
we,
wondering, I was
yeah,
wondering if you players would wonder why didn't Alfred try to stop you,
yeah,
which was a very conscious decision on my part, because Alfred could have stopped you,
right.
right? But why didn't he?
And
Well,
that,
he told you why he didn't. He didn't say it
yeah,
directly, but he told you why he didn't.
right. One of the reasons that if Dolby had not been in such a psychologically deranged state,
Mm,
the fact that he was waking up along with everybody else at the same time, he didn't see that. You
mm,
know, there was that breath that didn't happen because he was amped up
yeah,
at the
yeah.
end. And so like that is why he didn't take a breath to like,
Check it
you
out.
know, check it out and really process through. He is afraid of AI. Like he has a
He should
real
be.
fear of AI and knows that AI does exist and, you know, tells everybody it doesn't.
Yeah, the true AI, the
Yeah.
Tia. And that's the other thing that, when Alfred's like, "Oh yeah, I know what happened on Whisper Base," and you're like, "Oh no, what does that mean?" But what does Alfred know? Alfred absolutely is manipulating you,
Sure.
and he's
But I
manipulating
mean,
everyone on the ship.
maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that goes to the purpose of the SSA. You know, the reason why Alfred has been around for 100 years is because he's a good RI and he knows how to keep going, and he survived, and
So
whatever programming
I,
was put
I
in.
don't know if it was made clear because there's a lot of terminology that I've made up. Um,
Hmm.
but he told you that he was a SOC 4, um,
Yeah.
or a SOC level
Four.
4
Yeah.
operative,
Hmm.
RI, and that does not mean Sec Clearance 4. That
Hmm.
means he's a high-ranking security operations core
Sure.
operative. Which, when you talk to Commander Laura, she was saying, "Are you an operative? Are you a SOC?"
Sure.
And of course, Dolby was like, "I'm not going to talk about it," which is awesome.
Yeah.
Um, but Alfred at least claims to be an operative, a very
Yeah.
high level, which I think Dolby, especially considering the missions that he's been on, knows that means Alfred could easily be a double agent.
Sure. No,
Like, there's
absolutely.
a
And
lot that's going on.
the fact that Alfred said that, I mean, it does make it him untrustworthy, but I also think that Alfred is like a little child,
Yeah,
like
he's
subconsciously
a little
Dolby
robot.
does. He's like, you're just saying shit because that's what you've heard. And so he tries to relate to humans, or the robot
Mm,
tries to relate to humans, and they'll say things that either will get a rise or make a joke
mm,
because he's attempted jokes so many times
and he sucks at it.
and he sucks at it. And it's like when you tell somebody that you have secret clearance, it's like you don't have secret clearance.
I
You know.
know everything. He's like, "Okay.
All
All
right.
right. All right, dude. Okay."
Exactly. And it was one of those. It was one of those. This doesn't register. This is nothing. If you want the insides of working on brain. But I
Because
enjoyed that episode, and you're right. It could have gone a number of different ways, but I think the difference is like when you care about a character, live or die, like you're going to work and it gets your mind going. And one of
sure.
the things about role playing is that you have to like open up and just kind
Mm,
of roll with it a little
yeah.
bit. And I appreciated the punishment that was given to Dolby. Like, he deserved that, and like in my mind, it would have been possibly worse. And you held that really well. You got him paranoid, and then you made him feel bad about it. and so it's like,
one of my favorite scenes was when he's talking to Alice, because she's really young, like, of actual years she's experienced. She's like 25,
sure.
And she's kind of looking up to Dolby because he's the reason she has a second chance, and yet she also knows that he's her only second chance. And then she sees him do this, and then he's talking to her. It's so intense.
After she shoots at him, like, if she doesn't trust him at this point, like, if she's not like,
well, she thinks he's gonna kill him. She's waiting on him to, like, I think that you
like, but
Dolby recovered some, but really she's scared of Dolby. That's actually what it is now. She's scared.
There is fear in leadership, there's fear. That's how fascism works, is a little bit of fear.
Oh yeah.
Dole is afraid of Dolby.
Dole's terrified of Dolby.
Everybody's
terrified of Dolby.
Afraid of Dolby, and
no, Burgess is just going nuts.
No, Burgess doesn't like. I don't think Burgess really knows who Dolby is, and I'm pretty sure that it's Skip. He's not gonna get into the weeds with it.
No, Skip would be fine. I think that he will back Dolby on what he did. I think that had Dolby killed Alice, he might have had a mutiny on his hands.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that would have actually been a mistake in leadership. It would have been interesting. But you do lose something without the sergeant. She provided an interesting. I mean, she was your NCO. Like, she actually took a lot.
She was the sergeant, and she literally would have been a boon, and this whole mission that was impossible became harder.
Yeah. It became a lot harder. It became a lot harder.
Like, I know that I feel like the character jumped the gun on this, literally.
No, but he didn't. It was good, you dealt with it. It was such a powerful decision. It's just so funny because what was going on in my mind, like, you actually surprised me, and I was like, oh, it's happening. And that's why I clarified. Are you going after you trying to disable her? No, you're going for the head. Okay. Because when she turns and gives Dolby the smile, and then later when Alfred tells Dolby what that meant, Duststone, after you guys figured out my plan, after you guys figured out what it was with Andrea, she was going to actually confide in Dolby and tell him what she knew. Like, actually drop the load and be like, hey, look, so this is what's actually going on her end. Because the thing is that what you will find out, you'll find out some parts of it, but of course Duststone she was a player in it.
Sure.
She was a bit of a pawn in it, or a piece. But she was about to do it, and when you murk her, I was like, this became so much more intrigue and awesome. And so you have to find the data stick. You have to find the black box. And what's hilarious, I think, because I know what's in it, is all the hell that you guys are gonna have to figure out. And the only person that you have now to talk to is the fucking RI.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas the thing is with Duststone, when you actually, because I thought when I introduced her, I was like, okay, it's pretty obvious that she's in the conspiracy somehow. likely they'll either whack her or they'll leave her, or something bad's going to happen to Duststone. But you guys didn't. You got her, transferred. She's in with everything, and I was like, oh shit. Okay, I have to consider this.
I don't know if I've told you this, but I think that we talked about this just for a moment in the last After Hours, is that Dolby got her away because he knows that operatives who are against him, or not against him, but against the SSA.
They're against you. Against Dolby.
Against Dolby personally, for one. And they killed, like, she was too close to the explosion in the space station.
But you never found out. You never found out what happened on the space station.
No idea.
I was gonna tell you. It's perfect. It's a Game of Thrones thing, dude. It really is. It's the George R. Martin. If something fixes the story, that person's getting whacked.
Yeah, that's true. I had that moment. I had that moment as well. Like, certainly after her death, it's just like, oh shit, what have I done? Like, I think this is gonna harm him personally, and it may make him more apathetic. It may make him less.
No, he's gonna be
I don't
more
know
of
if
a.
that's possible.
He's fired up, baby. He's gonna get this job done. It's all he's got.
Yeah, well, it's all he's got. That's for sure.
You and your team.
For sure.
When you when you spaced her body, I was like, so you guys are at a bit of a disservice because you as players have not seen all the bits and pieces that don't exist. They're in my head with this setting. I mean, a lot of it's in the source book, but it's not detailed. But there are cybernetics and such. Like, ostensibly, you could have plugged her head in and gotten some info.
Sure.
And I didn't know if you guys would do it or not. I mean, it's zany things. People do crazy shit in games.
Sure.
When you space your body, I was like,
like
unceremoniously, you like just throw that out.
I mean, but the reason that Dolby, it was it was emotional, it was raw. He was not being military. He was being emotional.
You gutted her naked, decapitated body into space. Okay, like, let's put this in. She had like a towel on. Like, that's it.
She had nothing. She was just naked, floating around. If there's anything I know about Dolby, is that he makes the wrong decision, and he should not be in charge. But they keep putting him in charge.
He should. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. He acts exactly like what he is. And that's the thing, too. I think it makes more and more and more sense why Dolby is put on missions like this. Let's look at what the missions he's been given. Whisper base. That's pretty fucking obvious. That's a perfect Dolby mission. Lunia. Yes. Hey, we're gonna literally not even stop. Jump out of the ship onto the moon. Don't get caught. Oh, we're not gonna tell you, by the way, because they knew. We're not gonna tell you that they have tactical nuclear warheads ready to go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
On the moon, where people live. Well, I mean, it's on the far side, but
sure, doesn't matter.
Or hey, go out to this fucking clandestine, out of the way colony, where clearly the SSA knows there's fucking intrigue and terrorists and fucking operatives and all kinds of bullshit. Yeah, why? Because Dolby's a dude who goes and fucking gets it done.
Sure.
It's messy, but he fucking gets it done.
Sure.
I love it. You're like a dirty dozen, dude.
Yeah. It's definitely Inglourious Bastards and the exact opposite of whatever that is. So.
Well, you guys are the good guys, just in so much as you are trying to bring order
Yeah.
You know, because the thing is, like, when you get to Nova's Terra, you're gonna find out, you know, when people go off the rails, it's the fucking Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Like, the SSA does provide a lot. They just do it with fucking ironclad, you know.
Sure. And you know, I've definitely worked out clear black and white. If Dolby gets in front of the right people and can say the right things to the right people, like, very much, you know, it's this or that. I mean, because apparently the way I gather the SSA works. You know, you're kind of with us or against us.
Yeah, there's a.
But there's also intrigue to it. I mean, he's not gonna just drop some nukes on 15,000 people. That's not gonna happen.
Well, these are tactical nuclear warheads, so they're not like Fat Man and Little Boy or
Sure.
like they're not that big. I mean, they would take out a good portion of the colony, and
Sure.
but it would not obliterate them. Like, we're not talking
Yeah.
Death Star shit.
Yeah, and so it's just like, who knows what Dolby will do? Dolby's not even sure. He's not even sure why he's on this mission. He just kind of goes with the flow in like a psychopath kind of way.
I don't think Dolby is a psycho. I mean, maybe he is, but I don't.
Well, he's methodical. I mean, he's methodical. If he gets a thought in his head, he follows it like aggressively. And he's not afraid to kill.
No. No.
He doesn't. He if he thinks you're an enemy, like, the enemy doesn't deserve to live. I mean, that.
Right.
There's
Right.
no
Well,
life.
you're a fucking space marine, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's
Just
see.
thoughts.
So it's not a bomb. I looked this up earlier.
Mhm.
I was interested in, like, in Battlestar Galactica, their missiles are nukes.
Mhm.
And I was really interested in, like, how they mess with it. A tactical nuclear warhead is not a nuclear bomb.
Mhm.
I mean, it's still powerful as fuck, but
Mhm.
I want to say,
But it doesn't have as much.
it's like a
All out.
football field or two blast.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like miles or anything like that. You know, it's a big deal, but it's not
sharp, stabby.
Yeah. So if you shot, I think you have, what's your payload? It's like 6 or 4. I can't remember.
I think I would have to look. 2 nukes. There's only 2 nukes. It's not a lot of nukes. 6 rockets, and then we have more ammo.
Yeah, I mean, you guys
I don't know.
with 2 nukes and 6 rockets, you could destroy the entire colony from space.
Yeah.
But
and that would not do anybody any good. It wouldn't do the SSA any good.
You're having a thing.
I am.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
What is happening?
Somebody likes me.
That.
I'm not. Did you see me doing that? When we go to the play back,
you have to be doing it.
Somebody on Discord is doing that. We've got a lurker on Discord.
Is someone doing it in? Is it possible to do it in the chat?
No,
no, it wouldn't be the chat.
No, it's got to be Discord. That happened on Discord.
How is that happening? It hasn't happened for me, right? It's only happening for you.
It's only happened to, like, somebody's got my number and they're like, they liked what I said, and they're like,
okay, do it again if you're watching. Do it again.
They're not gonna do it. At this point, it's shtick. At this point, it's and the only other thing that I could say is, like, when I did the 5 and 2, that I did some kind of movement that made it happen, but I think the reality is Somebody's doing it. What
Do
is
the
it?
salute.
5 and 2.
Now do the salute. Give thumbs up. No? What in the world? Spider-Man, go! Spider-Web, fly! That's so weird. How is that happening?
I don't know.
Now,
It's AI. It's AI.
but
I'm
I
watching
wonder.
this stuff.
Well, you did just update your OS.
Do you think the OS is now like knows when I'm in a moment?
But why would it? It gave you balloons and everything.
Yeah, I think that somebody on the chat or somebody on Discord,
But
like,
how could they do it? They're not in the chat.
maybe they can just do it to my character. Like they're looking at me and private
Listen,
messaging me balloons
Discord,
and stuff.
where did balloons come from?
I bet I could do
Balloons
it
and
to
video
you.
call. Oh, hold on. On Reddit, people are.
Bet I
I
could
just
do
got a
it to
call
you.
and 3 animated balloons.
There.
Probably
did it
just
to
Discord
me.
being silly because it's their birthday. I imagine it's just a rare Easter egg. What? So it's a
I can
Discord
do a
thing.
parrot. I'm a parrot.
You're a parrot. Yeah, it's a Discord thing.
So
How do you?
they
They just gave
did
you
it.
balloons.
They just gave me some balloons, and they gave me a check mark.
I'm gonna
Maybe
throw you.
it's
I don't understand.
I can't seem to do it to you.
Yeah. Well, no, those are the little sounds.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a little guy in there too.
Hey, Discord. Give me balloons.
Nope. You don't get balloons. You gotta say some good shit. That's when you get balloons.
Happy birthday, Discord.
You gotta be in a moment. It's gotta be like right here, man.
You gotta be really close. Right here. Where are my balloons? What in the world? Okay, there's some kind of Easter egg. Apparently it happened on WhatsApp as well.
Yeah. Time and place. We got some coders lurking.
Are you on? No, this is iOS 17 or Ventura.
No, I'm on
Heart.
I'm on the new OS. Sonoma. What is it? Yeah, Sonoma.
Give me a heart. No. Peace sign with one hand.
Maybe you only get like one every once in a while.
Peace. No.
Explodey.
Double peace sign. Rock on sign with 2 hands.
It's like the force. You just got to be having a force moment. Force moment. All right. I feel like if you like the antics you're hearing now that you probably don't understand on the audio podcast,
Truth.
You should like, subscribe, and share because we've clearly lost our minds on every level of and lost track of.
What did you think about Andrea's character?
Andrea's character was not surprising because it's Andrea, and I like the deceit, and I like that there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I think that it sets up some PvP, but I feel like if they're working on the same side, or if Andrea's smart enough not to make it apparent, I think that subversion of what Dolby is trying to do is fucking great. You know, if she wants to go on her own mission and make some money and use Dolby as a pawn, like, Dolby may or may not find out about it. I know that if he does find out about it, like, she's in danger, but like I think that, you know, Dolby and Burgess, Brick, just because she's with us, and Skip Trace. Like, we are Marines that follow rules and orders. We were given a mission that encourages Dolby to creatively think, and that's not his strong suit, but like it seems to have worked. It seems to have worked so far, and there we go.
I think Dolby. I think this is great because Dolby was originally just a fuck up lieutenant that was whatever, but organically he's become, because of the way you've played him, especially decisions like the last couple game sessions, specifically the last game session and this one, he's become, I think, it makes more and more sense why what happens. Like why he's been given these missions, why he's put in these situations. Because he's this 40-plus-year-old dude. Or how old is he?
He's in human years, he's probably 100, if not more. But
well, I don't mean because
he
of
looks
cryo.
like he's 45. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like a 45-year-old dude.
He did his 10 years. I'm sure he's done his 10 years and just forgot. Like, he could probably leave the military and just doesn't know what to do.
So I was thinking on this, the time lapse and such. I think the fact that he's a lieutenant at 45, or he was a first lieutenant at 45, is kind of telling. Like, you know, if you're career military, I'm pretty sure you go above lieutenant. Like Dolby should really be like a captain at the lowest. Sure. Maybe even like a major. To be a career guy. But I'm thinking that it's maybe not the first time that he's been disciplined. He's been in a lot of sorties. He's been in a lot of cryo. I think Whisper Base, I mean, I think I said 10 years there, 10 years back. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty big stint, a 20-year thing. But I think he's probably done 4 or 5 other bits and pieces easy. And that could easily total, 6 times 5? 30 to 50 years. I mean, if you think about it, wow, that's a lot.
That's why when he ran across those guys right before the moon base and saw a little way off from it to be like in real life for a second, he liked that on Earth, and that was a boon for him to do the moon mission.
Yeah.
But he acknowledged those other very plastic looking fellows. You know, they kind of had a moment together when I don't know who it was. It was Burgess or Skip wanting to talk to them, and Dolby was like, "Don't."
Yeah.
You know,
I
think at a certain point, the big lie of the SSA, and I don't know this, is that you sign on for 10 years, but by the time you've been in there for 10 years,
it's your entire life.
You don't realize, you don't know what reality is anymore. And I think that's where he is. He's in it
absolutely
for life. Like he's too many people have died around him. It doesn't matter anymore. There's no such thing. Like, send him on 100 missions. If you told him he had 200 more missions and then he could go, he'd be like, what? Why count?
I think that Dolby's probably been on, just as a guess, and you can decide this, but just thinking about it, 10-ish, maybe more, which is probably more than people should go on. And if you
Sure.
think
Well,
about
his
if each one is anywhere from 3 to 6 years, uh, those are proximal colonies,
sure.
and those are one way. So let's say it's an average of 5 years or whatever. That means 10-year trips there and back. So pretty easily, if he's been on 10, like you're talking like 100 years of
Yeah.
cryo.
Sure.
Pretty easy. And so everybody knows is dead or they're scattered because they're
Sure.
Marines.
Yeah. He's got no sense of place and
Yeah.
no sense of like he just knows what. And the leaders keep changing, and he's like,
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe that's a thing too, is like we were talking about Ganymede and
yeah,
how, if you haven't been back in technically 80 years, this is something that I was playing around with. It's something that I hinted at in the first game of this stint, that one of the issues behind the place you're going is they have two capital ships,
sure.
or two frigates, I should say.
Yeah,
And they're military frigates. They're actually outfitted,
sure.
but they're both like 100 years old
Mhm.
because just of the time lapse. The thing is this: if you think about, a book called The Forever War. Did we talk about this?
No.
Man, it's a good fucking book. A lot of Into Space. Although I read The Forever War after I wrote Into Space, or Star Driven, which is actually the book. This game is definitely influenced. And one of the issues is this. Let's say I'm the SSA, I'm the Sol System Authority, and you are a distal colony. So that means over 10 light years. Okay? Proximal colonies are about anywhere from within like 5 to 10. So if you're 10 or out, that's a distal colony. The idea is, let's say I'm going to come and put you down, right? Verbally. By the time that my Marines get to you, the earliest it's been is 10 years.
Sure.
But the idea is that how long did it take me to get that information? Well, the buoys and stuff can cut it into a quarter, assuming there's the right gravity lanes. It means that communication, like the intel, is just going to take anywhere from 2.5 at the absolute most minimum to potentially 10 or 15 years of intel. And then you have to move people. So there's this idea of just to build an attack and push it out towards you, you're already like 25 years more advanced.
Yeah.
And if you're able to actually keep up with it, it means that whoever is attacking is actually at the disadvantage always. Even if they arrive out of nowhere. It's this idea of, right, but we've had 20 years to build up and
Modify.
prepare and whatever.
Sure.
So there's all these. I think this is all interesting because it means that your character going here and there and dealing with all this shit and coming back and being re-outfitted and all this bullshit. There's this element of what to expect when you go places. And I think that's something that specifically you and Skip Trace could really build up, like actual little bits and pieces and stories. And
Sure. I think that there's a lot to be said about that. I have projections of the way that I think Dolby sees this whole scenario. Because the leader's going to be different. The leader's going to be 30 years older. The society is going to change by the time he gets there. So whatever intel he gets, he knows it's wrong.
yeah, By the
And
time you guys get there, it'll have been about 13 to 15 years after the coup.
sure. And so like that society is defined at that point.
Yeah.
And it's not, he's not going to go in and be like, you guys killed Alexander Bell. I mean, for fuck's sake, maybe there was another coup.
Dead for a long time.
They're going to be like, Alexander who?
Actually, it's a fucking communist society that they actually might be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, right. So I mean,
Burn
that's
those-
not how you
those
approach
records.
it. Like you approach it like in a completely different way. Ad break. Well, I think we had a wonder. I loved the the learning experience. The teaching moment with Brick to me was my favorite. You know,
I love it.
did Dolby make a mistake? Did he make the wrong choice? Yes, he knows.
You know, I don't know.
He knows.
I don't know.
He knows that he made the wrong choice after the fact, but he also knows that you gotta make bad choices. Like
Yeah, I
it
don't
fucked with
know.
him.
Go on, sorry.
No, it fucked with him. He got a derangement. He got a flaw for it.
Yep.
It fucked with him. It
Yep.
absolutely. There's no question. He made the wrong choice, but
Well,
he's made the wrong choice before.
He made the choice going off of what he knew and basically weighing it's better to be wrong and have her die.
Yeah.
Than it is for me to not do this, and if she's what I think she is, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, you made an executive decision.
And the other part of if the AI got onto this planet, like that would be the worst thing for this planet because this planet would be over. Like
Oh yeah.
they would not be able to defend against this AI. So it was such a big scenario that the AI could eily bomb the planet before we'd all be dead or any number of things. It did just a monicum of mistrust leads to
big medicine. What's up, Killer and Gold? Thank you for jumping on the stream. Name a rapper. And then you have a rapper. Is that a rapper crying?
KRS-One.
How about Doom?
You don't like KRS-One? Doom?
I don't know. I don't know KRS-One.
MF Doom?
MF Doom, yeah. I think
KRS-One. Yeah, no, it's some sick beats. Yeah. Busta Rhymes.
That's right, boom.
Run DMC?
I think it was a really strong decision. It's contentious, but that's the best kind of thing. You made a big call and it was interesting. I think I'm interested in seeing the next session.
Sure.
If Drizzle's back, we're gonna do the red.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were gonna do the red tonight, and it was
if Drizzle's back, we'll do the red.
I mean, if we have the core group, I think if we have the core group, we should do the red no matter what.
Yeah.
And, Into Space is like the contingency, and if we're I don't know if we're gonna be behind or not behind, but we talked about the 30th in our Halloween special that we're gonna do. I think it's up to it'll take some conversations on what is gonna happen that night, but I think it'd be neat if we dressed up in costumes and kind of or something.
Yeah, but I was like black. My Harry Bunkum says Aesop Rock. What? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Harry Bunkum has shown me all of the hip hop and rap that I know, which is not a lot, but
I know quite a bit.
He's shown me a lot. We did this. It was Machine Gun Kelly's gave like threw shade at Eminem, and Eminem responded, and he was showing me all kinds of stuff, and like getting into the actual, like I was like, okay. And he's like, well, yeah, but do you hear what they're doing? And he was explaining like the little bits and pieces of it. I think rap is some high level shit that I don't know much about.
I definitely love some hip hop, the turntablism where they would do beat juggling. You know, having been a drum and bass DJ myself, I would often take different rap songs, like classic rap songs, like No Diggity, or like I don't know if that's like it's not super, but you know, and make a drum and bass beat to it, and it was fun to kind of play around with. So and I've done a couple of, I did a rap music video or two.
Did you?
In my day? You'll never
Back
believe
in the
me,
day.
but I did a music video with Sir Mix-a-Lot. He was a cool dude, and like his first videos were like put him on the glass, and like we like big butts, and of course there was the early 2000s, so the videos I did with him were we like big Johnson, so it was about big cocks.
Right, as you do.
But as you do.
Harry Bunkum
but
says
I feel
the
like
boy picked on the wrong Balrog. Talking about Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, nice.
Picking on the wrong Balrog, aka Eminem.
Yeah.
We got 90 followers. Yeah, Killer in Gold followed us 7 minutes ago.
Nice.
I keep on seeing it 7 minutes prior. Thank you.
I don't see it. I'm not signed into that.
That's cool.
I do think that it's been over 45 minutes, maybe under an hour, but we should.
Yeah, we probably need to wrap it up.
We should wrap it up before we start just singing to each other, or
yeah.
You know, melting brain explosions.
We're 10 followers away from our goal.
Yay!
Yeah,
I'll get my mom to follow.
Listen, my mom does not need to follow. Mom, where are you? My mom doesn't need to listen to this shit.
Sure. I don't think she. My mom knows about this podcast, and and I've told people who are not into role playing games, you know, people who are of her generation, people in their 70s, about the podcast, and I'm like, it's 6-7 hours long, and they're like, what the fuck?
What are you doing? What are you doing for 7 hours?
Yeah, but there's no amount of communication you can have with anybody for 7 hours.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing some DreadLore, baby. Speaking of Harry Bunkum, we got some new shirts. They have colors.
I don't have a shirt.
You don't have a shirt? Do you have a shirt?
I mean, I'm wearing a shirt, but
do you want me to send you the link to see if you want to grab one of the things?
Yeah. Send me some links. We should post it in the chat. You guys should buy a shirt. I'll buy a shirt. It'll be fun. I did
post in the chat, but it went away. Let me find it again.
I can find where to buy your shirt. I'm good.
It's on Redbubble is the place. I sent them an email, a firm note, basically being like, guys, you need to make it easier to use your site.
Oh, wow. Why?
But I dropped the F-bomb a few times.
No, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
I was a little bit perturbed.
Yep.
But whatever. Harry Bunkum, DreadLore, you should split up the episodes and present them as old-timey radio series. That'd be sick. Yeah, so it actually, you actually touch it with a pen, Harry Bunkum. I was about to mention this. We actually do that, essentially. What was I trying to say? we split up this episode, so we're streaming on Twitch. We do that every Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. And then Ken posts it to our podcast, processes the sound and everything, and you can find the podcast everywhere. But we split it up into 3 different sections. So you've got the after hours, which is what this is, and then you have the actual part 1 and 2 of the game. And those drop Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And they also drop on YouTube Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well. So people can get the audio, radio kind of thing, and they can get the video stuff. You know the schedule because you're subscribed. That's right, baby.
Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and change the schedule. And I don't know why this is scheduled for October 13th for the after hours for episode 13, which is not live yet.
Yeah, that's wrong. Also,
I'm going to just
do the 14th.
I'm going to do it for like right now.
Holy shit. Harry Bunkum says, did you know that if you have an Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch subscription of your choice every month?
I did not know that. I am a Prime member. And actually, I knew that. I tried to do it. I am such a weird... I'm a tech geek that like knows nothing about tech. So I ran into difficulty trying to figure out what that process is. I got right up to the... Like, do you want to do all this stuff? And everything just seemed sketch to me. So I bailed. But yeah, no, I mean, I got a Prime account. I feel like I should do that.
I had no idea. Harry Bunkum says, a great way to put that rocket money to work for you.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. I didn't know you could do that. I'd wondered too, because I kept on seeing like little Prime memberships. Anyway, we're trying to get to 100 followers on Twitch. So if you know people who are interested in long form content, when you're driving or something like that, we're trying to get to 10 subscribers. We're at 3 right now. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers on that, and it's free to do the YouTube stuff. Let me find out our YouTube link really quick. It's like at DreadLore, and there's some number, but I forget what the number is because someone else took that handle before I could get there. I'm not happy about it. I'm not mad about it, but I'm not happy about it.
Okay.
Not one bit.
This little thing needs to end.
I know.
That we need to stop.
At DreadLore 3526. Let me post that really quick. YouTube.com/at DreadLore 3526. That should bring up our shit. Mr. Ken, any last mentions, words, etc.?
If you haven't seen it, you can watch Dragons of the Autumn Twilight, a Dragonlance cartoon on YouTube.
Do you have a link for it?
Yeah, I can post it in the chat because I'll
post a link to it.
It's
I will probably watch it tonight. I'm gonna make some more coffee. I'll probably stream some chess here in a little bit on something Bunkum Chess, if you want to jump on that Twitch. And I'm gonna watch this movie of Ken Howl's. Oh, one other announcement. We're gonna be releasing, at least to festivals, this short film that we made called Nocturne. That'll be pretty soon. If you want a private screening of it, I'm going to try to do a little private screening online that won't violate film festival policy. So if you're interested in doing that, let us know. The easiest way to do it is to join the DreadLore newsletter, because then I can actually send you the link. If you don't want to do that, then you know, that's fine. I'll post that really quick. This is the Twilight. What's it actually called,
Yeah.
Ken?
I'm posting the.
Okay, cool.
I didn't grab the. But
Yeah,
somebody, I think the Dragonlance Saga. I don't know if they have the rights to it, but they put it on YouTube.
Well, watch it while you can. Dragons of
And you
Autumn.
can.
And Kiefer Sutherland's in that, yeah.
Yeah, Keith Sutherland, Lucy Lawless, Kentucky's own Michael
Yes.
Rosenbaum, and an assortment of other big stars were in this. None of which I met, but I did meet Will, and this is a prime example of fanboys like widely panning, sending a lot of hate to like stuff that if you're involved with it, like you don't know about it. You don't know what goes into this stuff, and
Right.
You know, this is one of those situations where we've got corporations that want to make money, and we like have the ability to make things better, and the two are at odds because they're like, we're over budget, and you have a director that's kind of caught in the middle of it, and me who helped out with some post-production at the very tail end, and they were like, no, we can't give you more time. And I wanted to give them more time, and they were like, no. So the answer is no, but we could have done more, and we could have made it a little better. It's interesting. It's like they put a shit ton of effort into something and then half-assed it on the back end. And all right, like what do you do?
So if anyone wants to jump on that, it's I'm gonna watch it tonight. It's about an hour and a half long. Mr. Ken Howl worked on it. It's pretty cool. If you want to know other stuff, the DreadLore newsletter, merch, etc., etc., etc. We're done for the night, ladies and gents. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for the chat for chilling out with us. Harry Bunkum,
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Very cool. Very cool.
And the rest of you as well. Killer in Gold, Fire Part Creature, Lovely Duckley.
Nice. Bye.